evening. How the devil are we all? I can't stop saying that now. Every time I think about football, I think about Unai Emery. How are we? It's good evening for me, and it's good evening for my little furry friend. My other little furry friend will be joining me later. We know this time next week it's all over until after Christmas. We've got the World Cup coming. We know who we think should be going, but who will be going? There's some interesting picks by the Sky journalists, but this is a chance to have your say. I'll be picking it along with Dan. We probably won't agree. When did we last agree? Father and son never agree. But will you agree with our choice? Could be interesting. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. This is Pick Your Own.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris. All right, welcome back. My little friends joined me, ready for the World Cup. This is my mate, Shake Your Shekels. And if you've never shaken your shekels before, certainly not on camera, I advise that you get police clearance first. This little guy here, in fact, including all my little guys that are me, are done by one man. Who would have thought that a friendship could blossom from community service? But you know what? It has. I haven't seen his mother for years either. Oh, let me get rid of my friend. Oh, hang on, that's another one. But here we go. Daniel San, good evening.
How are we doing? How is everybody in the chat? Thanks for having me, Chris, and I'm looking forward to this.
No, it's welcome. I do feel, like I say, this started out as community service, but I do feel it has grown, what can I say, into a prison sentence. But, you know, we have a laugh, don't we?
Of course we do. That's why we're here. We're here to put smiles on the faces of the world.
Why so serious? Let's put a smile on our face. World Cup next week. Can you believe it?
It's funny how Seb Blatter's come out now and saying it shouldn't have been in Qatar, isn't it?
Well,
quite ironic.
He was being interviewed on his luxury yacht in the Caribbean.
Well, it is funny how it happens, isn't it, when the money's all been spent?
Yes. But of course, he was found not guilty, was he not, of whatever it was he was alleged to have been guilty of.
We can all be bribed to say not guilty, Chris. We can all be bribed.
Indeed. Allegedly, please. My lawyer's just...
Allegedly.
Sorry, I know. I'll keep it under control. We haven't got that much money. Petty cash won't stretch to that. But yeah, excuse me. Tomorrow, I'm not sure whether it's 12 or 2. I'm a little bit confused because I've seen different times. It is 2, is it?
2, yeah.
I thought it was 12. Put that back then. We will see who Gareth announces. We all know, like I said, about James Maddison. But interestingly, I'd probably say a third of the Sky journalists haven't included him in the squad.
Yeah. I
find it a little bit sort of like funny, but I suppose, as I say, this is it. Everybody's got their own choices, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, we said this on another show the other night that this is a bloke who said, "I'm going to pick players in form that deserve to be, wearing an England shirt."
Yeah.
But he keeps going back to, well, can we even call them the trusty faithful anymore? Because the way they played in the National League, they certainly can't be trusted, and they're certainly not faithful.
But I know I agree totally. Don't say one thing and then do another. Say one thing, and he did do it at the start. He was picking, players from Leeds and what have you. All right, they've moved on now, but it was not his fault. But he suddenly dumped that. Cyber's in. Good evening, Cyber. Hi, Chris. I bet Dan wants us to beat Rovers. Doncaster.
Stuff them, and especially when I've seen the Blackburn team. I'm surprised Dak's playing. I thought him alongside his missus would have been ruled out on medical grounds. And, Brereton Diaz, I hope full well he comes off the bench and not get seriously hurt, but a nice hamstring injury won't go amiss.
Yeah, you're not quite as bad as I am with Fafana, who I want to break a leg and end his career.
well, I do. Mentally, I've had those images and, I've woke up in the morning with a bit of excitement in the system, shall we say, at the thought.
Yes. Let's move on. It's when you wake up and Kate looks at you and says, "Oh, I didn't know we were going camping." Anyway, Luke is in. Good evening, Luke. How the devil are you, sir? Nice to see you, Dan. He
was over on Turfcast as well. He was over on Turfcast putting his comments in.
He spreads himself about, does our Luke, doesn't he?
He is. He's a little YouTube whore.
Have you not got that restraining order yet? I got one a couple of months ago. And apparently it's a full moon today, says Cyber.
Oh.
I don't know where we're supposed to go with that bit of information, but...
I think he's trying to say you're an arse, Chris. No, I'm not joking.
Don't be cheeky.
Hey, which one, left or right?
Hey, you're just trying to crack me up, aren't you?
Oh, I am. From one arsehole to another.
Well, exactly. Right. This was quite late, me deciding to do this. So thank you so much for coming on. You're on here a lot, and that's not a criticism. You're a mod for me as well. So your details are in the description below on YouTube, but just tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Turf Morehouse, predominantly a Burnley fan channel, but obviously like to delve into the fact that the World Cup's coming up. I think there'll be quite a few of us doing World Cup content. I'll be certainly coming on and doing some games with you. I'm sure there'll be times that maybe you may come over and help me with a few shows. So yeah, at Turf Morehouse is the place to be.
If I can get a bus.
I'll speak to the guy that gives me a bit of 5-finger discount.
Yay!
But yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. And yeah,
where can you be found, sir?
No, as I say, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. All you got to do is tap in Turf Morehouse. And we're also delved into radio as well. Although I have put that on the back burner for now, I am going to focus on building the YouTube channel and using that as my predominant until we hopefully reach 1K by the end of the season. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm sure you will. Let's help him get there, guys. And indeed, I've done the same with the radio. I've predominantly put it on the back burner until I can sort something a little bit better out. But James is in. Good evening. How are you, James? I've got to do it. I'm sorry, mate. And it was last night. I saw Kieran Rants, which is a big Everton channel, and it wasn't called. She doesn't call it Kieran Rants for no reason. It was a tad upset last night. Lampard gone after the weekend.
Ooh,
yes,
big call.
Yeah, well, I depending if it goes against him, then it all depends on the results because it's so tight at the bottom. And let's be honest,
you'd rather he be gone by the end of this weekend, Chris, wouldn't you? So you can add another second to your list from earlier.
Exactly. We all like it tight at the bottom. But that's another story for another show after midnight. James is just laughing. You're laughing now, James. You are laughing now. See where you're laughing at the end of the season. Sean's in. How you pair of leg ends? I tell you what.
Hey, how you doing, Sean?
I met earlier on. I went out earlier on and I met the guy that invented the windowsill. What a ledge!
Sometimes, Chris, I really hope you wouldn't read that book 3 or 4 times a day.
No, if a joke is good and it's worth repeating, and I don't even take the license fee off you. Luke says, mention your Tinder also. Grinder, isn't it?
Grindr, Tinder, I'm on it all.
And OnlyFans. you know when you probably don't, but when I was a lad and you could buy magazines like Mayfair and Playboy, and you always had the double centre spread in the middle. That's what Dan needs, but it's more for his stomach than anything.
See, growing up, you cheeky git, right? I heard where you were going with that towards the end.
You froze. I didn't know where you were coming back to me on that one or not.
No, I did, but me and a mate used to go and buy the Nuts and Zoo magazines.
Oh.
But they used to have like a joke page in there and they'd have sports and stuff. But yes, they would have the odd, picture of Lucy Pinder or something like that in there.
I was watching a YouTuber, and you know what YouTube's like for sending you down rabbit holes?
Yeah.
And I started off with sort of looking for apps I can use or whatever. And ended up, it was, I don't know if anybody ever seen Watch Mojo, but they do a lot of top 10s. And it was 10 TV programs or channels, 10 TV channels that no longer exist. And one of them was Nuts TV.
Was it? I didn't even know they had a Nuts TV.
Oh, it only lasted 2 years, but apparently...
I watched Tots TV as a kid, but no.
Oh, do you remember? We're going to be doing the Daily Mirror, using them for the squad. They had their own channel when digital and Sky and everything first hit the airwaves, so to speak. And they had topless darts. I didn't see the point in it, but there was a couple. Moving on. Did somebody put switch on the radiator? Somebody put switch the radiator. Sorry, I'm reading it all wrong. Have you mended your glasses? You were in town early. Have you mended your glasses?
I've got a new pair coming, but I don't collect them till Saturday the 19th. So
you keep freezing on me.
I don't know why. It's showing you frozen, but me moving. So I'm not sure.
No, it could be my internet again. It's been playing up for a couple of days. Does anybody remember Take Your Pick with Des O'Connor? I always thought that was a show on sort of how you confuse an Irishman. Put him in a round room full of spades and tell him to take his pick. Hey! Oh, a joke for every occasion. Right, let's get on. We've both got other shows to get to, places to be, things to do. And I found this. So we are stuck with the Mirror, only because I've got to be totally honest with you. I could not be asked to actually look for any other options. So we are with the Mirror. Shake Your Shekels is back again. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
Well, I thought, what could I do as a bit of artwork for the Qatar 2022 World Cup? So there we go. And allegedly, and that's all I'm saying. Right. So, young Daniel San, we start with goalkeepers. Now we've got to take 3. So it's so it's be interesting if we agree on these or not, because I've only got the one chart. I think Pickford's a definite, isn't he?
I'll tell you something. There's 2 names there that I think would be definite, and 2 that one or the other's going to get a look in. That's it. And
See,
to
I
be
think
fair,
there's three that are more definite, and one that I think has missed the boat.
I think you look at them names there. Henderson's definitely not receiving a phone call.
No.
Henderson's not receiving a phone call, and it's nothing against his goalkeeping ability, but he's in a side at the moment that are in free fall. So for me, yeah, you've got to look Pickford, Ramsdale, who's absolutely doing the biz at Arsenal, and Pope, at Newcastle.
Yeah. I would agree. For me, those are the three that have got to go. And to be honest with you, I would be very tempted to start with Ramsdale as my number one.
Yeah, I think it's definitely got to be between Ramsdale and Pope, but I think Ramsdale, again, it goes down to distribution potentially. Yeah. I think Ramsdale's got to be the one that probably gets the nod ahead of Pope. Although, don't rule it out. Don't rule it out, because we don't know whether Southgate's going to change it up come the World Cup.
Who knows? I have been Southgate's biggest backer. If you follow my shows, but yeah, he is pushing me to the limit at the moment with things. James said, at least we haven't got a team to stress about in the World Cup. I could do with the break. The thing is, I take it Scottish, of course, James, and I'm thinking, I was watching Doug on Monday night. We did a Doug show yesterday. On Monday night, there was him and Reese discussing Group A of the World Cup qualifiers. And it seems strange hearing two Scotsmen talking about the World Cup, to be honest with you.
It's a bit like when Burnley got relegated. It's like, please accept me still on your Premier League streams, please.
Yes. It is. We're the annoying. We're like the Klingons in Star Trek. We'll just hold on there. You ain't getting rid of us. We're Ali's army. We're on the march. I mean, and I've got to say, I'm going to do a World Cup song special. That is the one radio show I'm going to do. And I love Scotland's, and Doug did tell me about this when they released Don't Come Home Too Soon by Delamitri. You're asking for trouble, aren't you? When you release your World Cup like that. Although, in fairness, Wales did release a World Cup song about being the champions and winning it when they weren't even in the World Cup.
Is that Hamaro Heed song?
No, it was. I don't know. It's Goldie Looking Chain did it.
Oh right, yeah, no, that's a different one. They've for this tournament they've re-released an old one which is Hamaro Heed or something.
No, that's
as much as Welsh you're going to get out of me.
But somebody said to me once, like, because dolphins, allegedly can talk, and they said, do they speak Welsh? And I went, no, there's only Wales that can speak Welsh. Oh, they're all coming out tonight. But no, it was for the Russian World Cup when it was in Russia, obviously, and it had actually kicked off. 2 games had been played, and Goldie Looking Chain brought this song out for Wales, saying that they were going to win it, and they weren't even there. Pickford, Ramsdale, and Pope 100% to go. Yeah. Gareth Southgate out if we can't win the World. We're not going to win the World Cup, and I think he might go, to be honest with you, because even if we get through the group, and we're going to do a prediction show next week, but even if we get through the group, we'll either get Holland or possibly Senegal.
Unless Gareth Southgate, Chris, has turned around to the lads and said, listen, if you win the World Cup, I'll walk. They've gone, right, no worries. Boots on, boys, out there, extra hour on the training field.
I mean, I agree, James. Pickford hasn't been amazing. But the thing with the goalkeeper, and I've said this about Ward so many times, it's not just the goalkeeper, it's the back four. You could be Gordon Banks and Peter Shilton's love child. If you've got a shit back four in front of you, you're going to be conceding goals. So, yeah, I do. But he does stick with Pickford, and Pickford's not let him down. And I get. Well, we'll talk about Southgate later because if we've got time, I did want to have a quickie about him, as the actress said to the Archbishop. True Red, Pope, Ramsdale, Pickford. Even though I prefer Henderson, but he's not had a consistent playing period for the last 12 months. He hasn't, I'm afraid. Box is in. Good evening, Box. It's been a while.
Evening, Box.
How the devil are you? Welcome along. Everybody's saying hello to everybody else. 1 Ramsdale, 2 Pope, 3 Pickford. Wow. Is this a fair shout, to be honest with you? Let me ask you this before we move on to the defenders. Do we need 3 goalkeepers?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, because anything happens to one of those keepers, they're going to have to come in. Then you're going to have a keeper on the bench just in case anything, just in case.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, you've got to keep that extra option open. I'd rather have 3 keepers than have 16 right backs.
Well, so yes, I mean, fair point on that one. I'll give you that. But I just think I've never known a third keeper actually ever get a game at the World Cup. Now, somebody will come on here and say, oh, when Ecuador played Colombia in 1958. But I don't, even in Mexico, 77, and Gordon Banks got a case of the heebie-jeebies and had to go off, and Peter Bonetti came in for the quarter-final that we were ahead, and then we lost to Brazil. But we still never used, I think we might have only had 2 goalkeepers then, but I suppose the one time you don't take it is the time that you need them. Jade's in. Who do you support? What's your country that you support then, Jade?
She's English. She's English. She just doesn't like supporting England. I don't get it.
Fair point at the moment. I just think I'll talk Southgate later. Once you get me on Southgate, we're here for the night. Regardless, James says, of what happens in the World Cup, I think Southgate does need to move on. Maybe he's had his time, but we've got, just very quickly, I'm going to say it because we're still talking in very, very quickly. Southgate is probably our most successful manager ever as an England manager. And obviously I include Alf Ramsey in that, but Alf Ramsey got us to 1 World Cup. All right, he happened to win it. He then got us possibly to the quarters, I don't know, in the Euros afterwards. Then he didn't get us qualified at all. I know like qualifying was a bit hard about then because you were drawn against whoever came out the hat. But if you're looking at where we've sort of finished, Ericsson got us to some quarterfinals. Bobby Robson got us to a semi. But on sort of final place finishes, Southgate has been our most successful. But maybe his time is up.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm with you on that. I just think that he's... it goes back to it. People say, yes, you've had success. Wenger had success at Arsenal. Dash had success at Burnley. Ranieri had success with Leicester winning the league. Yeah. Afterwards, sometimes you get found out. Sometimes after a season, sometimes after 9.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. Really is.
It is. Jade says there she's waiting for the French squad. We know what they say.
Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition.
Or the French squad, for that matter. Let's have a
Great
look.
save.
Ramsdale distribution has impressed me. I wish De Gea had his passing range. James Dunlop. Does Deschamps need to move on after the World Cup? Talking about France. I would think, still talking. Nearly Christmas. Thanks, Sean. Yes. Nothing gets past you, does it? I've noticed this. You are on the ball. You are. France. No, it is France. That's why she's talking France. France is her team. Jade, why France? Oh, don't ask. Okay, we won't ask. Southgate has done more in recent times than any other England manager. But I think he's taken the squad as far as he could. Yeah, that is the point. Exactly. Is it time for a change? We will find out, I'm no doubt, in the new year. Right. Now then, we can have 25 right backs, but we can pick up, well, it says here, we've got 23 to pick between defenders, midfielders and forwards. Now, defenders, I don't think we need as many as Gareth wants to take. And to be honest with you, the 3 of them have dropped out. Chilwell, James, and Walker are all injured, aren't they?
Yeah, they've all been told that they won't be involved in the World Cup squad, especially Reece James, probably the more recent in the news to come out. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely, we're going to. I think to be fair, it's good if you're a player that's in form and in and around the mix, because seeing players like you say, like James and Walker, Chilwell being ruled out, you're thinking, hey, I've got a good chance of getting my foot in here and establishing myself.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, do you think James Justin would have been in with a shout? I mean, he's injured now. I mean, it was a terrible foul. And I mean, that referee, Richard Madeley, I mean, not being awful, he should stick to breakfast TV. He's fucking awful as the ref. That foot, it was a studs up foot straight onto the knee. And I didn't see it, first of all, because I thought it was part of an earlier clash when a Newport player went down. But he didn't even get a booking for that.
No, I think he would have been sort of on the cusp, as you say, with having those three players not in. I'm still shocked to see Alexander Arnold's name in there. I mean, this is a bloke who Liverpool fans had this giant tug of themselves at, thinking he's going to be the best right back in English football. But now even Liverpool fans will turn and tell you that he's shit.
Yes.
So I don't understand why he's in and around it. Maybe he might be there to make up the numbers due to the injuries. But yeah, I agree. Like Luke said, you're hearing that from a Forest fan as well, Chris.
Yes,
but I do think Justin would have had a slight chance if it wasn't for the knock last night.
He didn't have the best of debuts for England, I'm going to be honest with you. He looked a little bit out of his depth, but it was his first game. Nippon's in. Good evening, Nippon. How are we, sir? Not seen you for absolutely ages.
How are you doing, Big Nips?
Yeah. I can't believe you just called him that live on air.
It's not the first time and it won't be the last.
If he's got a younger brother, is that... No, let's not go there. But welcome along. Big up to you as well. Nice to see you, mate. Hope the kitchen job is going really, really well. And Anson, good evening, Ant. Hey, where were you last night when your team was getting stuffed? Bristol City. Who knocked Bristol City out? Just remind, I can't remember.
It's I found it on TV. There were a link on. There were a link on telly. Lincoln City.
Oh, that doesn't get a whoa. That's better than a whoa. That one. That one I think should be there.
It's coming home. Football's coming home.
There we go.
To be fair, I feel his pain. We've suffered at the hands of Lincoln when they went through their good run in the cup a few years back. So, but we didn't get dick like that.
No. Very, very. It's funny how these fans disappear when they lose. I mean, Mike never came on the show and he said he might. Hey, the missus is in. Kate, hello. How are you, Miss Arson? Asdan. Should I pick up the World Cup bunting from Asda for some potential World Cup content? They've loads of stuff for the World Cup in their Christmas baubles relating to England and all of the sorts. I have got some England flags that will be going up next week.
I'm a bit disappointed, Chris, that she's on about picking up bunting and Christmas baubles. That's for our OnlyFans content over the World Cup. And I'm surprised she's mentioned that.
I mean, is a joint account, is it? Does she have a couple of flags in the right position or 3 flags in the right position? Just like they never play God Save the Queen and the flags have to go up. Hey!
Well, it won't be coming home.
I love Mock the Week. I'm so peed off that it's finished. But
yeah, I'm gutted about that.
But there was a thing a while ago, and we were covering the last World Cup, and it was from Asda, and it was an England flag coat, if you like, almost.
Yeah, I'd seen that.
Yeah, and when he put it on, it looked like for the Ku Klux Klan. Oh,
But in answer
dear.
to that, Kate, yeah, why not? Let's do the front room up like we did before.
Get your bunting out for the lads, Kate. That's what we're saying.
She's saying that. She's saying that. So if we put the actual England bunting up, it means I won't keep saying, "Shall we get the Christmas decorations out?"
Yeah, yes. I mean, I am torn. Do I go for the Union, the England flags, or do I go for the tinsel? Southgate can go to Middlesbrough. Maguire, White, Stones, Tamori, Tarkovsky, says Box. As a matter of fact, I do have a younger brother. Oh, little Nips. Is it?
The itty bitty titty committee.
Oh dear! At some point, we were picking an England team in the middle of all this. Harry Maguire.
I'm sorry, it's just because I saw a comment about Maguire and I thought, tit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Harry Maguire going with the latest shocking news of the year in English football. We all know he shouldn't go, but for Southgate, we'll still take you. We'll come on to Maguire in a minute. James said he won't be supporting anyone. Everybody's saying hello to everybody else, including Kate. I thought it could have been a 2-in-1 purchase. YouTube and OF, Daniel.
Need you say more?
No, I'm sure. Just I'm not going to mention the coat again because my mind is going to places that it shouldn't be going to. It was a bit of a joke last night, says Anthony. I still feel moody about our match against Lincoln, and they have an England Christmas tree in red and white. Oh,
I mean that might be pushing it.
I want a blue Christmas tree. But the blue Christmas trees are absolutely bloody awful. But
It's
I am going
blue Christmas.
Have a blue Christmas. I'm going to Winter Wonderland, as you well know. So I may see what I can pick up there. Luke says, "Won't be surprised me if she already has them out."
well, I'm looking forward to fondling those baubles.
Where's this going?
I don't know. She's got a fondle man. They're in her handbag.
Like the Queen, she carries them about. What's in there? Just Dan's testicles. Right. Okay. Let's talk football. Let's get off your baubles and Kate's OnlyFans page. Have you told her? I
did mention about. I've not shown her the picture of Arsene Wenger with a coat, but I did mention it.
Oh dear. Right. Let us have a look then. Now, let's start with Maguire because I would take him.
Would you?
Yes, and I'll tell you for why. Because when you look at the team that he is in and the back four that he has been in for the last 12 months, he's been bloody awful. But, football isn't a one-man game, if you like,
No.
And again, he has still produced when he has played for England. He's got the experience. He's not going to freeze. Well, nobody's going to freeze over there. It's bloody hot. But do you know what I'm saying? And to me, he's got the experience. And I'm not saying that because he's an ex-Leicester player, but you've got to consider, everybody said Maguire's a donkey, Maguire. But who wasn't? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't the fact that Maguire was shit and the other three defenders were messy. For the back four, they weren't. The whole of the Man United defence was pretty damn awful, let's be honest. So, for me, he has to go.
I can see the pros and cons of it. And I look at it and I think, well, recently he played up front for Manchester United, so there's another option up top if we need.
Yeah, he scored a goal for England, let's not forget.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I used to like old Slabhead, right? And then he's sort of... He's dropped off a bit, but it's like you've got a point in what you're saying. He's not the only person in an England shirt that you can pin a blame on. And same at Manchester United, you can't just blame one person. We all have one player in our team that fans seem to go to and think,
Yes.
scapegoat, I'm slandering you, you're getting the shit every week, even for the slightest thing. So I do sort of agree with you. Having him there, yes. Starting games, no.
Starting games is another thing altogether. So
Yeah.
I take your point on that. But for me, I think we've got to put him in. Because
Yeah, he's
of
got to
what we
go.
said.
He's got to
Yeah,
go.
he's got to go. So we're going to put. Oops. Why am I clicking that one? Because it doesn't show. I've got little me look with two laptops here. Get me. Maguire, let's link him up. I will light it up on there. I know who I've spoken to. Now, I didn't realise, but at the start of the season, we were actually in talks with Luke Shaw about him coming to Leicester.
Really?
Yes, because he was not performing not performing well at Man United. But we're a little bit short on left backs, aren't we, at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, who have you got there at the moment? It's that young lad, isn't it? The one that was in your youth system.
Sorry? Oh, Leicester.
Who was it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had James. He was moved to right back. Got Luke Thomas as our left back. But Luke, the experience that we'd have got, although we said that we got Ryan Bertrand, so we are turning a little bit into a Gareth Southgate, aren't we? But I wouldn't have minded it.
No.
We know again, he's got a goal in him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. Not a bad player. To be fair, I think it again. That's because you've got this exterior about you, Kate. That's what it is.
I'm going to say she's from the dark side.
She is. We all know what that's called, Yorkshire. Luke Shaw, however, he's, for me, I mean, he bagged a goal, didn't he, not so long back? He got on the score sheet. He was doing pretty well. So I'd rather have him there than Chilwell, if I'm honest.
Well, Chilwell's not going anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Southampton are getting on Nathan Jones. Kind of obvious. So are we saying that one of us is freezing a lot, and I think it might be me.
God knows, I've just switched my internet off and gone to my 5G just to see if that helps. But
get you 5G.
Oh, we've got 6G masts outside as well, but apparently it's shut. So
I'm going to try and go to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's still crashing. You're still crashing, Chris, every now and again.
I am doing. I know. That's bloody talk for you.
Talk, aka can't talk because I can't get a pissing signal around here.
That is true. I tell you what, very quickly while I've got you, sure, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you. Talk to me about Stones while I have a play with my Wi-Fi.
Happy days. John Stones, is he a starter? I mean, I've not really seen whether he's in the starting 11 for Man City. Hopefully the chat will be able to confirm that. I don't think he has been because you've got Akanji who came in and I'm not sure who's playing alongside. It might be Stones. I'm not entirely sure, but Stones for England, he's not the worst. I think he's just a bit slow. I think he's just a bit slow for me. He's John Stones, and he's at the back end of his career now. I think, what is he, 30, 31 potentially? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with John Stones. I'd definitely take him because it's that experience.
Yeah, I agree. He is in there. Trippier, as somebody's just said there, he can play left or back as well. I like Trippier.
Yeah, I do. Left back, right wing. He's got a lot of versatility to his game, and I'm not just saying that because he once played for Burnley. I think he's a fantastic player, and even at 30 years old, I wanted him to come back to Burnley at the time when he went to Newcastle, but he's absolutely tearing it up there. Absolutely tearing it up there. It's not just that though as well. He's good for his free kick ability as well. We saw that in the final. We went 1-0 up due to his free kick, and everyone's like, "Oh, brilliant! That's it. Potentially, we've got a chance to do it." So yeah, Trippier's got to make the squad for me.
It has. Now, someone just said that they would take this player. Who was it? Box, I think. Yeah, Dyer. I'm not impressed with Dyer at the moment.
The thing is, I would take him just on the basis of that. Some of the other options aren't good enough, and it's not that. Again, it's a versatility thing. He could slot into CDM with Declan Rice and things like that. If we're looking at in terms of first team, he can slot in that CDM role. So again, it does give us a bit of versatility of where he can be deployed.
Well, let's come back to Dyer then, because like you say, it depends on the others that we pick. So what we'll do is, James isn't going. Ben White from Arsenal. Would you take him over Dyer?
Yes. Yeah.
I've got to be honest with you. I think I would as well.
I think you've got to look at the way Arsenal are playing this year.
Yeah.
And again, if we're going on the basis of that players should be in there because they are deserving of the call-up, then 100% Ben White has to be there.
Yes.
I do think, though, that, and I've seen it a lot from an England perspective, the young players, they seem to just get fast-tracked to stardom. And I don't know whether that's a media thing or whether it's, I think there's so much built on. I mean, let's talk about a player that once got called up for England and has been nowhere near since. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Media were like this over him. They were like, on the face every 2 minutes. Comes up for England, doesn't rip it up, goes quiet. Chelsea want to loan him out, and you've not heard about him for a long time now. But Ben White could be one for the future. Still has years in him, and finally showing a little bit at Arsenal of why they paid the big price tag to Brighton for him.
Yeah. Okay. Walking out. Cody now. He seems to, again, another one seems to have gone off the boil a little bit. He's moved to Everton on loan, and no disrespect, James. Again, I was a surprise, to be honest with you. I'm surprised Wolves let him go, but he's struggling at Everton. He's not struggling. The whole side is struggling at Everton. Do you take Cody?
It's again an interesting selection. Going back to what you said about Wolves getting rid of him because Bruno Lage didn't think he could play in a back four, yet goes straight to Everton, slots into a back four alongside Tarkowski, and it seems to be an effective partnership. Yes, okay, recently they've had a bit of a bad form, but them two as a defensive pairing have been all right. They've not been too bad. Does he deserve to be called up for England? I'm not being funny, and I'm not saying this because he played for Burnley, but I think the fact that Tarkowski has got, been having the plaudits from people on Match of the Day, the BBC, etc. If I had to take any Everton centre back at this moment in time, it would be James Tarkowski over Conor Cody.
No, I get that. Unfortunately, because like I say, we are stuck with who the mirror have put in there. And Box is saying Tarkovsky, and it is a good shout. I haven't got him as a choice. I'm sorry. It's I suppose if they put every player that was available on there, we'd be here till midnight. Cody will come back to then. Somebody that I don't think should go, Mings.
Nah, we don't even need to mention him, Chris. Doesn't need to be there. The guy's a boxer, a bullet, and should be nowhere near that England side. So fuck off, Mings. You're not even getting a phone call to say you've not made it. Off you pop. Enjoy Christmas.
Well, we agreed on that. We agreed on something. So no Mings. Now I can never say this name. Guhui?
Mark Guay.
Gray, that's it. Gray.
Hey. I like that.
So, we've got 5 there at the moment. Dyer and Cody, we've got question marks over. So we've got Guy, Alexander Arnold, Tamore, or Dunk. Any of those you wouldn't take?
Alexander Arnold. Similar to Mings, he's not going.
Again, he seems to have sort of peaked, doesn't he, and gone off a bit. So how many defenders do you want to take?
You've got to think it's a 23-man squad.
Yeah,
we've got. Do we have to take into account how many players we've got? We've got 3 keepers. We've picked. I don't get that. It says we've picked 5 players of 23 on the players.
We've picked. We've already picked the 3 there for the keepers.
All right.
That left us 23 for defenders, midfields, and strikers.
Right, I get you. The thing is, I don't know whether Southgate will go. Let's call up Alexander Arnold due to the fact that we've lost out on James, Walker.
Yeah.
And Chilwell, to be fair. It's almost like it's another option out wide. As much as Trippier's versatility is there, I agree with what Box is saying. I'd say Tamori definitely, because what he's doing in Italy is phenomenal. So Tamori gets in.
Agreed.
Guay and Dunk.
Dunk, is he having that good a season?
No. I tell you, I don't think Dunk should be there. I'm going to say Dyer, like I said, because of versatility.
Okay, yeah.
And I'd say Mark Guay, because of as much as Palace are inconsistent, I still think that for England he deserves his chance.
Okay, so Cody misses out.
Yeah.
Are you happy with? Yeah, you're okay with that. Yeah, and Alexander Arnold and Dunk miss out as well on that one. So we've got 8 defenders there, which I think is more than enough. And like you say, we have got some
that can play in other positions. You've got Maguire that can play up front, Dyer that can play in midfield, Trippier that can play out wide and also right or left of the defence.
Yeah.
Versatility all over.
Yeah. We've certainly got a lot of injuries. Don't know, Sean. The draw. This isn't not about Leicester, but the draw is is on Thursday at 10 o'clock for the next round of the cup.
My internet's going to change in a minute, Chris.
Yours. Are you with me? Hello. No, and now we have lost him altogether. Between the pair of us, neither of us are actually doing very well here. Now, you see what makes me joke? If you have a look, and this is based on, as far as I understand, what the Mirror have done here is based on sort of Southgate's choices in the past. I mean, if you look how many defenders, 15 defenders he's got to choose from, and he's got
we're back.
9. We're back. Yep, we've got 9 midfielders. But okay, look, let's get on to the midfielders. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going to be biased on here, and I'm going to be biased. Well, in fact, I don't think I am being biased from what people
Not at
are
all.
saying.
Not at all. Light him up green already, Chris.
Yeah, he's got to be on the plane. In fact, like I say, like Gary Lineker said, it's not a case of is he in the squad, it's is he not in the team?
That's something I meant to ask you, actually, and I know it's not England related, but what was all that about? When the commentator said to Maddison, you were the best player on the pitch or something, and Tielemans went. So
I think did he say that? I don't know if I can't remember his exact words, but he
got
won the
something
man
like player of the match
award.
or something like man of the match or player of the match, and Tielemans were like, "What, really?"
Yeah, I know. I think Tielemans was hoping for it. I think that's what it was. But yeah, I think without a doubt, Maddison is there. Right. Who else is Mount injured?
I think there's doubts about Mount.
Yes. Well, let's have a look then. Rice, would you? I would take Rice.
Yeah, I would. I'd take Declan Rice. It's all right. You know, blow out your arse, because Sunday you're gonna get filled in.
You'll be another one that won't get my link if you're losing, will you? Yeah, to me, Rice has got to go.
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
definitely. Bellingham.
Yeah, Bellingham more than Rice, to be honest. I'd love to see him in the Premier League, see what he can do, see if he can cope with it. I mean, we've seen a lot of young English talent have to go abroad to ply their trade.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see whether he can sort of reach those hearts in the Prem. So yeah, Bellingham's got to go as well as Rice for me.
Now for me, this is a no, but Henderson.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally with you.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
in fact, I think this is, if I can find it very quickly. Excuse me. What do we think of Henderson going?
Oh no.
You know what, though? I think he will go there. One of those players that sort of still gets called up, but just to be that voice in the dressing room.
Yeah.
I think that could be another one of those where Henderson goes, doesn't get much game time, but he's in there as a natural born leader. Sort of, I think everyone in this team really should be a bit of a leader, and give each other pointers. That's what you do. Your teammates at the end of the day, you should be talking to each other. But sometimes you need somebody in there to potentially give them a bit of a, build them up before a game. I'd rather him spit his words prior to a game saying, let's get stuck in here, boys, than start making 600 passes sideways, actually starting a game. So I think he will go just for that.
Is he the calming influence that you would bring on in the midfield?
If you're winning a game 2-0 or something and you want to see a game out, potentially Henderson's your go-to to sort of draw it back a little bit. It is, God, look at us sounding like Southgate now that we're having to toy with the idea of taking him. Shit's sake.
I know.
I'm going to say he goes just as a voice of reason.
We'll come back to Henderson then. Grealish. Rumours are that he's got a new sponsorship deal with Ann Summers. He goes down that easy. But can you play Grealish and Maddison together?
Goes back to that old saying, doesn't it, about the Gerrard Lampard situation? Can they play together? Maddison and Grealish play together. You'd like to think so. It's not like they've been put together at this level before. No. We all want to see Maddison there. Grealish is he's a shithouse. I personally don't think he should have gone to Manchester City. I think he's gone there. You could be Akinfenwa, you could be League Two fodder, you could be dog shit, and you could look like a world beater in that Man City squad.
Yeah.
The thing is with Grealish, he made it count at Villa. You know, he stood out amongst the rest. Now at City, he's not really getting game time, similar to Calvin Phillips, you know, who's in there.
Yeah.
Although I think Phillips has been injured, but Grealish is such a nippy little player. Definitely a game changer, an impact sub, some would say. I'd say comes on when they're tired, wins them little fouls, them quick wins, and we just need to be more clinical from them set pieces. So for me, he's not the greatest. He's not really been in that much form, not had much game time. But as an impact sub, I think you've got to take him.
I would agree. And I think when he comes on, he gives, I'm not that we're going to have a large crowd over there, but he does get the crowd going, and he does go forward, you know. And quite often I've watched England games where, to be honest with you, we've looked really, really pedestrian, and he's come on and he's made things happen. And yeah, okay, he does go down very easily, but maybe that's the penalty of the free kick we need to get through. You know.
It is. Can I just say, Chris, can you get a chapstick for old Maddison? His lips must be dry with how much he's licked his arm.
Don't ask what he's got on his arm.
I love Leicester till I had our TV.
Yeah, indeed. That's what he's kissing. Phillips, I don't know if he is injured or not. Do we take... Well, let's have a look who's left then. Because we've only got 4 midfielders. We've got to take a few more. Mount, I wouldn't take Ward-Prowse. He hasn't impressed me that much.
That don't impress me much.
Mount, so no Ward-Prowse, Phillips, Loftus-Cheek and Henderson. I mean, you know, we could take all those 4 if you wanted.
We could take all 9, to be fair, and still have room for the forwards in this 23-man squad, because the Mirror haven't really given us much options.
No.
I mean,
when you look at Southgate's squads, we've said they're all defender heavy, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, the Euros, that defensive partnership, that CDM partnership of Rice and Phillips was phenomenal.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. And now it's almost like, where's that togetherness gone? Where has that togetherness gone? Box, I can understand. I can understand what you're saying. But is Ward-Prowse going just on the fact of set pieces? Again, that's the only reason he starts, because he can score a goal from nothing.
Yeah.
But you have to be getting those set pieces to do it. Yeah. Is Ward-Prowse a starter for England for me? No. Does Calvin Phillips get in?
Other than his free kicks.
Exactly. Yeah. What has he got? Yeah. What has he got? Because if he had it as an all-round game, Southampton will be doing 10 times better. Hasenhüttl won't be out of a job. And, you know, I feel for Ward-Prowse. He's like one of those players that when they sold everything, they sold all the players and they tried to make money, he stuck by them. And in the end, he's probably thinking, why did I do that? I'm the one who's sat here now and been left behind. I could have had a big money move. And he hasn't. He hasn't gone on to sort of prove himself. You can call that dedication. You can call it that, you know, he's a bit like Messi with Barcelona. He was dedicated to the cause. But sometimes you're only in a short career. You've got to sort yourself out. Calvin Phillips, though, Chris. Calvin Phillips. I mean, for you, does he go?
Yes, for me. Only because we're limited on choices here. But to me, he goes. And I think Henderson has to go as well, because like you say, he's got the experience, he's played at the highest level, and he can be that calming influence where if we are 1-0 up and we are being battered, he can come on, you know, and he's almost like the old elder statesman of that midfield, isn't he? Yeah,
he's like the old general in there.
Yeah. So we've got we've only got 14 out of 23 players at the moment, but some of the forwards I think can fall back into midfield when we come to them, because apparently I think we've got more forwards than the bloody Zulus had at Rorke's Drift. Yeah, Harvey
Is
Elliott.
Mount injured? Is Mount injured?
Not on my list. He's not injured. No.
Then put him in. I'd take him.
Yeah. In fact, if anything, Phillips is injured, shoulder injury. But we'll stick him in because if he's fit, he goes, I think.
You can shake a shoulder injury, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. He's definitely not out. Harvey Elliott, Jacob Ramsey, Dewsbury Hall, Longstaff, Gallagher shouts. Too soon, I think, for Dewsbury Hall. Gallagher, again, has he
on
peaked?
The cusp?
Yeah,
on the cusp, but I don't think he makes it.
No. Sorry, what did we say about Mount?
He's going. Mount's going.
Mount is going. He will be mounting the train. And Loftus Cheek.
Nah, he's got more chance of turning up at Loftus Road than Qatar.
I agree. So we've used 15 out of 23. So we've got eight players left that we can pick from the forward line, or we can come back and obviously pick extra midfielders or defenders if we want. So here,
you've got to think forwards counts for a lot, Chris. You've got your wingers, you've got your strikers, you've got your false nines.
Yeah. So
it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and like I say, some of them can defend, fall back into that attacking midfielder role. Let's start with the obvious one. Let's get the elephant in the room out the way first of all. Harry Kane.
He has to go, doesn't he?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, if you are taking Henderson, you're taking Kane for the same reason. I mean, you look at the Euros, and he didn't score for the first, was it? Well, any of the group games, I don't think, did he? And then suddenly, boom, off he went. And if you get a penalty, there's only one man you want going up to take it, and that's Harry Kane. So, yes, definitely, for me, I can't stand him when he plays for Tottenham, but obviously when he plays for England,
I think he frustrates me more for England than he does for
Yeah. Is that as in Harvey Barnes?
It definitely won't be Ashley Barnes because he's dog shit.
No, I don't. No.
Although if he scores the winner on Sunday, Chris, will be a fucking beautiful man.
Yeah. Well, that is after the squad's announced, so it's a bit late then. Okay, that's one elephant out the way. Let's get the other elephant out the way. Sterling.
Oh, I was going to say, you asked me on.
You have not got anything like as big a trunk as an elephant has, mate. Kate told me.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Raheem Sterling, again, interesting. Does he go to the World Cup? Has he had a reemergence of form at Chelsea?
No.
Then no.
But then has it's a new team?
Yeah.
Settling in, and let's be honest with you, we're not even halfway through the season yet.
No, look at the. To be fair, no, you've got a point. Look at the Euros.
Yeah.
Look at the way the Euros went. He was the only one banging them in for fun in the group stages and everything else.
Yeah.
And yet he was out of form then. People were saying, what's he doing in the squad?
Yeah.
So I am sort of contradicting myself a little bit here, but
for me,
do you take him because of the experience?
Yes, I do. Although if he doesn't do it for this World Cup, then he's not in the one maybe for the competition after the next Euros. But like I say, a player can be good, move clubs, and like I say, we've not even had half a season yet. So we can't, is it too early to judge them on, his Chelsea form? They've had a new manager come in, so, it was the old manager, I think. Was it the old manager that bought him?
Yeah, I think it was Tuchel that snapped him up.
Yeah. So for me, he goes because of that.
No, I agree with what True Red's saying. But yeah, Stick him in. I mean, we need to find 8 forwards, to be honest, Chris. Sterling's probably got more points.
Well, no, I just think, like you say, look at him in the Euros. You know,
Yep.
he was the only one that was scoring. If it
No,
hadn't
I
been
agree.
for him, we wouldn't have, you know, got where we got. Okay, and the last elephant, really for me, is Ivan Toney. Now, and I say elephant on this one because if the FA are going to be consistent, they shouldn't be taking him. Now, I don't agree. Nothing has happened, and it's typical of the press to release this just before a World Cup. I haven't seen this for a while. But the English press always used to do something about the England football team just before a major tournament. It's like the new.
There was always a scandal, weren't there?
Yeah. Well, we know now. Well, hang on. The World Cup's kicking off in 10 weeks. Hang on to it for 9 weeks. Then we'll do it. Just to cock up at, morale and everything. But as I say, I don't, he's innocent until, isn't he? So does he make it?
We were speaking at the beginning of this about how Southgate needs to go back to his roots and to what he said, which is picking players in form. Ivan Toney, yes, as much as Brentford got beat by Gillingham the other night, Toney got on the score sheet. Was he in there with some youth players? I'm not sure. I didn't see the team. But Ivan Toney, I want to say yes, he does, because he needs to take players on form. But is it a case of that it's either Ivan Toney or Callum Wilson, one or the other gets the nod? That's my thinking here. And if you're going to take anyone, look at the way Newcastle are playing this year. You've got to look at Callum Wilson probably more than Ivan Toney.
Okay, well let's put Toney and Wilson to one side. That's a very good point. Calvert-Lewin doesn't go for me.
No, just come back from injury. He's just come back from injury. He's not exactly firing the goals in at Everton. Nah, not for me. I think he sits this one out.
No. Thank you, Box, for keep naming Leicester players, but Vardy, if he was available, I wouldn't even be picking him at the moment because he got 2 against Newport. No disrespect to Newport. Andrew, I'm not even going to put that out.
He can make his own way there, can Vardy, can't he? Red Bull gives him wings, so he can go there if he wants.
Indeed. What other player would be filmed drinking Red Bull before he's about to go on as a sub?
You've got Vardy drinking Red Bull. You've got the bloke in the lower leagues like munching a pie.
I know, yes. But but thank you anyway, Box. And Andrew, I'm not. That's not good. I don't know if James is still in as a mod. If you can remove that one, please, I would be grateful. Calvert-Lewin doesn't go. You're quite right. Gerard Bowen. Now, for me, no, for this one again.
Yeah. Jared Bowen. West Ham haven't been the same animal. Yes, okay. In the Europa, they've been great. In fact, they went unbeaten. Can't fault them.
Yeah.
In that, but in the Premier League, hit and miss. Is he playing tonight against the Unwashed? I'm not sure. But he's another if. He is another if. It all sort of depends on who else we call up. I think he's another one that's potentially on standby in the Toney and Wilson category.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say he doesn't for me, but we'll put him on the list there. Abraham.
It's old Tammy. Yeah.
I think for me he does as well. To be honest with you, I think he offers something different.
He does. I liked him when he were on loan at Villa a good couple of years back. I thought he was brilliant. I thought if he'd have made that move permanent, he'd have gone on to have a good career. But sometimes you can have one successful year and think you're Billy Big Bollocks, walk back in at Chelsea and think you're going to get game time. That wasn't the case for him. And now he's out there at Roma, not really watched him. Can't say I've delved into the Serie A, but he's, as you said, he offers something different, so he has to be in there for me.
Yeah. Box, I see I agree with what you're saying about Barnes, and he would run at defences as well, and he'd almost, but he's
Anthony Gordon. Oh no,
Anthony Gordon's not on form at the moment, but
I'd rather take Flash Gordon. At least he'll come alive.
But if you take your Flash Gordon, you got to take Mings.
See what you did there. Hey. Nah, Chris, he's not going. Death to Ming.
I'm so hot sometimes I burn myself. But yes, I don't know. I see what you're saying, but we've got Grealish that does that. So, we will see. I wouldn't take Gordon, says James, and he's an Everton fan. Tony, we're coming back to Tony. Saka, again, for me, he's got to be there.
Yeah. Saka's been Mr. Inconsistent for Arsenal, been the go-to goal scorer for them, really. Yeah. Been phenomenal. It just goes to show the calibre of player he is, the calibre of man he is, to go from all the drama in a penalty shootout, all that abuse, hatred that was so undeserved, and the way he's built his character back up, and just, knocked all the nonsense and the naysayers on the head and proving the doubters wrong, that as a footballer, he has got the qualities and credentials to be a very important England player going forward for this tournament. So, makes it for me, no shadow of doubt.
I'd love it. I would just love it if we got to the final and he scored the winning goal. And you could go like to all the all those trolls. So Phil Foden.
Yeah. Again, another instant yes.
Yes.
I think it doesn't just... It's decent for England as well. Creativity-wise at Man City, you maybe see a little bit more. But as I say, probably comes from having those players around him. I just think he's an all-round good player. Again, he's probably one of those players from a youth side of things that, as Micah Richards called it, burst onto the scene, but hasn't been media heart enough. Not that he should be, but he's just gone about his business, done what he's done. And for me, Foden definitely makes the play.
Yeah. Now we've got 4 options left. So we've got, we know Calvert-Lewin's a no. We know Bowen is a no. Tony and Wilson are possibles. Let's jump to Welbeck. I don't see what all the fuss is about with Welbeck.
No.
If Welbeck was going to be good, he would have done it at Man United. He would have done it at Arsenal. And he's at neither of them now.
Yeah. Again, the fact that we're sat here talking about Danny Welbeck as though he should be on that plane.
I don't think if it wasn't for the fact that the Mirror have put him in there, and I can see why they have.
I don't know. A lot of people have said Welbeck. I've seen a lot of people mention it. I don't get it. What's he doing at Brighton? I mean, they only just offered him a 1-year extension last year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now he gets himself back into the English squad. I mean, it shows his exactly box. Exactly. Yeah. What's he going for? Is it because how many injuries we've got? Because I'm not being funny, but there's a lot better strikers that are probably in form. I mean, I'm not going to blow my own trumpet here. Jay Rodriguez has been in the England setup before. He's got 9 goals in the Championship for Burnley this year. At least he's got goals compared to Danny Welbeck.
Yeah. No. I 100% agree with you there. If you're going to take somebody that can do a job, and he is not doing the job at all.
No. That goes for Watkins as well, Chris. I'll put him in that category. I don't think Watkins goes either, because again, Villa haven't ripped it up. In fact, the only thing they did was rip up Gerrard's contract. That's the only thing they've done. And get their win over Manchester United. Sorry, United fans in the chat. Sorry, not sorry. But that said, yeah, Watkins hasn't really pulled up any trees for me. Neither has Welbeck. None of them are in there. Again, this is where it gets interesting. We've got 4 positions to pick.
Yeah, I'll let you answer, Sean, here.
I mean, he's had a good career. It's not gone south. It's definitely gone north. He's on the up. But yeah,
I think
not English.
Are we talking about the same son here? Because if we are,
I'm trying to think of which son. Which?
Well, I saw that and I immediately thought of the Tottenham son.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd love him in the England side. Do not get me wrong. If you can suddenly find that he's got an English mother somewhere, great, or an English grandma twice removed, then yeah, let's get him in. And that said, he is fit enough to go, if that's the other thing you're referring to. Okay, so we've got 4 here. Rashford.
Yeah, I think we've seen a re-emergence of Rashford at Manchester United. And as much as them as a team haven't been the best and probably still trying to find their feet under Ten Hag, I think Rashford has been one of those players that's sort of seen a bit of a revival to his career. So I think this is his sort of last chance saloon, maybe, and could be a chance to redeem his international career.
Yeah, has he got better now? He's concentrating on the football rather than all the, I know
potentially.
Yeah. So we've got Sancho is the last one that we've not mentioned.
I don't think Sancho goes. For me, it would be Rashford, Toney, and Wilson, and Bowen would get that final 4 spot.
Bowen? Wow.
Bowen would get it over Sancho, Welbeck, and Calvert-Lewin for me. Because he can be used up front, used out wide, and it can just be used to make up numbers.
Bowen, Rashford, Toney, and I agree with Wilson. Oh, hang on. I think we've gone over. Oh, if you're going to take Wilson.
If you're going to take Wilson, you're taking Bowen out.
You're taking Bowen out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I must have miscalculated. So there we go. Let's just see what happens if I generate an image. Not a lot, but there we go. So, in fact,
does it come up at the bottom? That would be a no.
That'll be a no. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hang on. Generate image. Yeah, exactly where.
That's at the bottom, I think, isn't it? Is it at the bottom where it's sort of very similar there? So you've got your 3 keepers.
Ah, yes, indeed. So this is no.
We didn't pick that many defenders, did we? No, because we didn't even touch Mings.
No. Thankfully, let me. I bet it hasn't probably saved it. No, but what I can do is, because I am such a star. Let's have a look. So we went Pope, we went Ramsdale, we went Pickford for our goalkeepers. So we can run through it here. For the defenders, we went Shaw, we went Stones, we went Ben White. You went Eric Dyer. I didn't. Maguire, Trippier, Guehi, whatever he's called, Tomori. Neither of us went Mings, which is, that was one thing I don't think we said no to anybody quicker than that all night. Midfielders, Grealish, Phillips, Henderson, Bellingham, Rice, and Maddison has got to be in there.
And Mount. We had Mount in there as well.
No, we didn't.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we put him in.
Well, in that case, then we've got to lose somebody else because we've used all 23 up.
How? What have we put an extra midfielder in there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Yeah, 23. I think we've gone OTT on the forwards, to be honest with you. Let me take Bowen out and let me take Tooney out. And let us put, who else did we put in there? Sorry, did you say?
What, up front?
Mount. No, it was Mount.
Oh, Mount, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got two we can add here. We've got Kane. Oops, hang on. This is where I'm doing it wrong. So we put Mount in. And on this one, we've got Kane, Sterling, Abraham, Wilson, Saka, Foden, and Rashford. And we have got one player left. We can take one more.
Which was Tony.
Definitely you're going for Tony over Bowen? You see, to me, is Bowen more versatile? You know, we've got Callum Wilson, we've got Abraham backing up Kane.
But then, yet again, you've got Sterling and Foden, Saka. Rashford can also play on the wings. So as a main men up top, yes, you've got Kane, but then you've got Callum Wilson and Ivan Toney that can play as well as Abraham. So I think the majority of that forward line is quite. I'd take Toney based on form. Toney over Bowen.
I disagree.
Do you?
Yes, I am.
See, that's strange because for you said Bowen were an instant no.
I know, but the more I think about it, again, he's that bit older. He's got the experience. I just think he's more versatile than Toney.
But Toney has the pace. He is also a man in form that could spring from the bench and potentially get us a goal. Bowen, I'll tell you what, Chris. We'll come to a pass. He's not even in the list. Let's give it Harvey Barnes.
We will add. I can't add him on, but we will add. Okay, I'll agree. I can't disagree with that.
Of course, you'll agree, you shit house.
We will add Barnes onto that. Everybody. Box suggested it earlier.
It's his fault. Boxer's fault.
One question before we wrap it up, and thank you for that. Let me just get rid of all the
money
now. Yes. The mirror. Oops. The mirror didn't give us an awful lot of choice, really, did it? But
no.
Do you take along? And I saw this question earlier online. Do you take along a player who is injured, but might be okay when we actually start playing? We did it with Rooney, and it backfired. We did it with Beckham, and it kind of backfired. And if we go back far enough, we actually did it with Brian Robson, who lasted about 30 minutes, I think, of the game, his first game against France. So in fairness, he did score a goal in that 30 minutes. So there's three well-known top players who we took that were slightly injured, and not one of them, finished the tournament, to be honest with you. So, if you've got somebody that is a little bit injured,
well said, Bob.
We're talking about, players. I don't know how bad their injuries are, but do you risk it? For me, you never risk it.
Nah, you can't risk it. You don't know how. Knowing full well that you as an injured player still has a chance and a sniff at playing for England, you jump at it. You would try and run through hoops and try and come back faster from that injury. And I'm not being funny. It will have repercussions on your club football, maybe your career later on.
Yes,
potentially. Yeah. Do not risk it for me. It's a don't go there situation.
No. No. Sean, just to let you know, if you want the last week's video, it is on Leicester Till I Die TV
Am I not
page.
good enough, Sean? Am I not good enough?
He prefers Dave. That's what it is. Monday at 9:00. We won't be doing it throughout the World Cup because of different games and everything. We might slot an odd one, but Monday's at 9. Unfortunately, the WSL show didn't really take off, so we're going to be doing football fans, the rivals, a bit like pop stars without the singing. Remember, 2006, we had an injured Rooney. Owen then did his ACL. Walcott was 17, and it just left Crouch. You just do not take injured players.
No.
There we've got our squad. It'll be interesting to see 2:00 tomorrow. I think everybody's doing a show, so take your money, take your chance on who you want to watch. Turf Moor House everywhere, Dan. That's where people can find you.
It is indeed for the best Burnley content going.
Oh, God.
I wish Kate would say that, Sean. I just get the typical Yorkshire response. You'll do.
Yeah. You should be on
In fact,
the
you don't say that. It's got more of a twang in it. You'll do. You'll do for me.
I take it she's gone.
Hopefully.
Anthony says good luck tonight. He's going to wipe the arse with you, Anthony.
Of course he is. Of course he's. Nice 4-0.
At Turf Moor House TV is where people can find you on YouTube. The link is below in the description. Always is with Dan, and obviously all over social media. If you've got a social media, if it's available, Dan's on it.
Such a whore.
Oh. Good luck at the weekend.
Yeah, big one on Sunday. Looking forward to it. I don't think it needs talking up. To be honest, I'm just, I can't wait now. Can't wait. I'd snap your hand off for a point already.
Yeah. I will be covering it on a watch along because you are not going to be doing it. So Burnley Blackburn, 12:00 Sunday. I think
if I can come in at half time, Chris, I will try my best.
Yeah. I will send you the link. I don't know what it's like at Turf Moor. Bloody KP, you can't get any sort of signal. But
you can't get one at the turf.
It's me and the Dugster doing that one at 12:00 on Sunday. Burnley, where I lived for 20 years. Blackburn, where I worked for just over 6 months. It's gonna be torn. I don't know who to go for.
I hope you're not wearing any blue anyway. Not dark blue.
Maybe I should wear a blue T-shirt and a white shirt.
Oh, disgraceful.
But Wales have just named their squad. Oh, please! I guess Bale's in there, but I think I
know Burnley's right back is. Burnley's right back. Connor Roberts has made the Wales squad, so
I think I upset the American fans last night. Don't you?
Just a smidge. Just a smidge.
I mean, I was being fair. I was actually saying I thought they'd go through, but I can't see everybody's blowing the smoke up Bale's arse. They were lucky to get through against Ukraine. The free kick wasn't going in until it hit the Ukraine defender, so it wasn't even a good free kick. And no, they're just lucky to be there. But make the most of it. You will be coming home very quickly. 3 games. Bye-bye, Wales. Mate, really, it's been great as always, sir. I will no doubt speak to you tomorrow.
I'm sure you will.
All about the buses in Burnley. No, good luck tonight. I will see you later, and take care, buddy. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me, and thanks everyone in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to Chris. Mirrored camera. Make sure you subscribe to Chris because he's a great guy.
Brilliant. The check's the check's not in the post. The PayPal's on the airwaves.
This came. I thought it was a check. It's just empty tissue. Brilliant.
I don't know what you do with an empty tissue.
I've got a runny nose, but I'm still.
Of course, yeah, of course. Take care, buddy. Cheers.
I'm prepping for Sunday, Chris. Prepping for Sunday. See you later, you dirty inbreds.
Take care, boy. All the best.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Dan there. Check him out, Turf Moor House TV. Go and give him the subs. Let's get him to that 1,000 by the end of the season. Yeah. Sean and Luke having a bit of a loving about Forest. Yeah. Okay, guys. Go and get a room somewhere. I will be back in 30 minutes exactly when we will be doing the prediction show, the last prediction show before Christmas. Maybe we should have some Christmas music. I don't know. But it's the last one. Join us. I'll be on with Steve Lynex, hopefully, and Cole, the Leeds fan, is joining us. And we will be doing it's the last one before the World Cup and Christmas break. Thanks for everybody that watched this. Thanks for everybody who listened to this. Love you more than I can say. Please subscribe if you haven't. And if you have subscribed, smash that like button. It does help the old algorithms. I will see you in half an hour. Take care, guys. Thanks very much. Good night.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV